Okay, so if you've ever stood in your garden, looked at your beautiful green bean plants, and wondered, why am I not getting any beans? Then you are in the right place. Today, we are going to break down the 5 most common problems people have with green beans, and more importantly, how to fix them using simple, natural solutions. I mean, this just hits home, right? You have this perfect picture in your mind of a huge harvest of crisp, delicious green beans, but then the garden has other plans. You get pests, the leaves turn yellow, and the harvest is, well, it's just disappointing.
I'm guessing it does. Green beans are supposed to be one of the easy vegetables, So when things go wrong, it's really easy to feel like you've done something wrong, like you've failed as a gardener.
But I want to be super clear about this. You haven't failed. Not at all. Most of these green bean problems are totally normal. They happen to everyone. And the best part, they are almost always fixable with just a little bit of observation and without reaching for any harsh chemicals.
All right, let's dive into problem number 1, pests, the uninvited guests that show up and can absolutely wreck your plans before you even get a chance.
Let's meet the usual suspects. First, you've got aphids, those tiny little bugs that just suck the life right out of the stems. Then there's the Mexican bean beetle. It kind of looks like a ladybug, but trust me, it's not your friend. It'll turn your beautiful leaves into skeletons. And finally, the sneakiest of all, the cutworm, who does its dirty work at night, chopping down your seedlings right at the soil line. But the good news is you can fight back naturally. Your first line of defense, especially with young plants, is a floating row cover. It's like a little fortress. If you see aphids, a little neem oil will take care of them. For the beetles, honestly, the best method is to go out in the cool morning and just hand-pick them into a jar of soapy water. And for cutworms, create a scratchy barrier around the stems with diatomaceous earth or even crushed eggshells. They hate it.
Moving on to our second problem, and it's a big one, those dreaded yellow leaves. Now, this isn't just about looks. A yellow leaf is basically your plant sending up a flare, signaling that something's wrong underground. So when you see this, your first instinct might be to worry about the leaves themselves. But I'm telling you, the real story, the real problem, is happening down in the soil with the roots. So what's actually causing it? Well, 9 times out of 10, it's one of 3 things. The roots might be drowning from too much water and not enough drainage. They could be starving for nitrogen, which is what makes leaves green, or they could be suffocating in soil that's just too dense and compacted. The fix is basically a 3-step checkup for the roots. First, before you even think about watering, stick your finger 2 inches into the soil. If it feels damp, just wait. Second, if your soil feels like heavy clay, lighten it up. Mix in some good organic compost to give the roots room to breathe. And third, give them a little snack. A dose of compost tea or some fish emulsion will give them that nitrogen boost they need. I absolutely love this bit of old school wisdom. It's such a perfect reminder. When a plant looks sad and the soil is wet, the last thing it needs is more water. What it really needs is oxygen for its roots and a little time to recover. All right, let's talk about what might be the most frustrating garden mystery of all. Your plants look healthy, they're covered in beautiful little flowers, but those flowers just fall off and you get no beans. What in the world is going on? When your flowers fail to turn into pods, it usually comes down to one of 3 things. 1, you don't have enough pollinators, like bees visiting. 2, you've given them too much nitrogen fertilizer, which tells the plant to grow tons of leaves but no fruit. Or 3, temperature stress. A sudden heat wave or a cold snap can make the blossoms just give up. And here is my absolute favorite fix, because it's not just a solution, it's beautiful. Instead of worrying, invite the pollinators to the party. Planting some bee-friendly flowers like dill or zinnias or borage right in with your beans is like putting up a giant, colorful, open for business sign for all the bees in the neighborhood. Okay, problem number 4. This is the one that often creeps in right after a nice summer rain. That water is great, of course, but the damp, humid conditions it creates, that's a perfect breeding ground for fungal diseases. Yeah, you want to be on the lookout for things like this. See those orange, rust-colored spots? Or maybe a white, dusty coating on the leaves? That's powdery mildew. Both of them love humidity, and man, they can spread fast. So with fungus, prevention is absolutely key. Always try to water the soil at the base of the plant, not the leaves. Keep them dry. A good layer of mulch helps too. It acts like a raincoat, preventing fungal spores in the soil from splashing up onto the leaves. And if you do spot an infected leaf, get it off there immediately and throw it in the trash, not your compost pile. We've made it to the final hurdle. You've fought the good fight against pests and diseases, you've got pods forming.
Now we just have to make sure the beans you actually pick are tender and delicious, not tough and stringy.
You know what I mean, right? When you peck a green bean and it just feels leathery? Well, there are three main reasons for that. You might have waited just a day or two too long to pick it. The plant might be stressed from inconsistent watering, or a sudden heat wave could have just toughened up the pods.
The fix here is all about getting into a good rhythm. Once those beans start coming, you really got to get out there and pick them every single day. The more you pick, the more the plant will produce. Mulch is your best friend for keeping soil moisture even, and watering deeply and regularly prevents that stress that leads to tough beans. This little checklist is a perfect summary of everything, really. The big do's: always check your soil before watering, use mulch, and pick those beans constantly. And the critical don'ts: don't overwater, stay away from high nitrogen fertilizer once they start flowering, and whatever you do, don't let the pods get too big on the vine. It's a great little guide to keep in your head. And here it is, the ultimate tool to take with you. It's a little troubleshooting card that puts it all in one place. You see pest damage? Here's the fix. Yellow leaves? Check this. No pods? Look here. It puts all the symptoms and natural solutions right at your fingertips.
You know, as we finish up, I want to leave you with this idea, because I think it changes the whole experience. Gardening isn't some test that you pass or fail. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership between you and your plants, you and nature. So as you head back out to your garden, to your green beans, think about that. What's the one small change, the one small adjustment you can make today to be a better partner to your plants? Thanks for tuning in.